So in this video, I'm going to share with you the one affirmation that will make you way more magnetic, will allow you to feel empowered in your own body, and how this will change how everybody responds to you, because literally you're putting out a different energy. Now, when it comes to magnetic energy and when it comes to attraction, this is 100% an energy game. It's all about energy. The energy you are putting out is a reflection you are getting back. So if we're putting out an energy that has certain qualities, maybe that energy is needy, or that energy wants validation or approval from other people, it's going to literally repel people. But if that energy has certain qualities, and if there were certain things like affirmations and things you could use that could completely transform the way that you embody yourself, that changes everything. Now, the first thing I want to mention with this is when we talk about an affirmation, one of the things I see very common in the self-help industry and even the law of attraction industry is this one affirmation that you say that completely changes your energy. That's the idea. Now, I'm here to say that I am not somebody that necessarily am going to promote that or even believes in that. I do not believe that you're going to say one affirmation over and over and over again, and then eventually that's going to be your reality. Because that is only one aspect of our physical reality. One aspect of our physical reality is what we say, or what we intend for, or what we visualize. But this is more about understanding, who are we being? So if somebody says the affirmation thousands of times and then they start being that way because they program themselves, then it works. But an affirmation people like to believe in the quick fix, and I'm here to say that something more powerful than that is understanding that this is how you truly affirm your own magnetic energy. That is to let go of these affirmations, to let go of this one thing that you say 1,000 bajillion times and then you become magnetic, and focused on affirming your own authenticity and yourself. Now, normally what happens when it comes to magnetic energy is energy that is not needy. Not needy. The degree to which you are attractive is the degree to which you embody not needy energy. The degree to which you repel other people will be the degree to which you are needy. So the key to this is embodying non-needy energy. Now, let's define what non-needy energy is. Non-needy energy or needy energy. Let's actually first start with needy energy. Needy energy is when what we do is we put the external, what somebody else thinks and feels, over what we think and feel. We value their thoughts and opinions, approval and validation, more than giving ourselves our own validation, approval, and sense of worthiness. So then what we do is we put what they think and feel on a pedestal, and we're doing everything we can to change our own center of gravity to make them happy. Now that is very needy and non-magnetic. Now, in actuality, what non-neediness is when you value what you think and feel primarily over what they think and feel. So this is about switching the energy and affirming what you think and feel as far as validation, love, approval, worthiness, over what they think and feel. That is what's going to help you embody magnetic energy. Now, there are certain blocks we may have to actually expressing the real us. Now, the truth is that the most magnetic version of you is the version of you that is the most vulnerably expressive, that is not attached to outcome. Have you noticed that when it comes to people that have magnetic energy, they're not attached to outcome? They're not being magnetic so that you like them. They're being magnetic because it's who they are. And if you can feel that they're being magnetic to get your validation or approval, normally you'll be repelled by it. You'll see through it too. So the power of what I'm sharing today is that this is about understanding your own sense of self-expression, and also your own sense of vulnerability. I know for me, everything I'm sharing you right now was the key. This was the key to going from the needy people pleaser energy that I had for years. Go back to my earlier YouTube videos. where I was making videos about this is the way that this is the one affirmation you think that you must say, and this is what happens. That was, if I were to make a video that was really, this is the affirmation you say every day in order to get what you want, then it would be making that video because I'm doing it to get the views. I'm doing it to get people bought in on this like almost codependent energy of like, just say this thing and you'll get what you want. And it's like the quick fix that everyone wants. I'm trying to make everybody happy. I'm trying to please the audience. But me expressing that, I think that in some ways that's bullshit. That even though you clicked on the video and it says the one affirmation, it's a different context. The affirmation I'm talking about is not the one thing you say like you see on TikTok. I've actually made TikToks like this before when I was that people pleaser version of me. Say this one word and you will be the most attractive person in the universe. And they'd be like, I am enough. And then you say this like 100 times a day and you're enough. But saying it, verbalizing it, is one aspect of physical reality. We have not only what that could be called our word. Whatever we say and whatever our word is our integrity. On the other side of that, what are we physically doing? How are we being in reality? How are we showing up? These are questions that to me are much deeper. And the thing that I'd like for you to affirm is to affirm yourself. Affirm feeling safe in your own body. Affirm your own values. Affirm your own authenticity. Affirm your own vulnerability. Because when I did all of these things, and I've seen many other people go through this transition as well, it changes everything. One of the reasons we're afraid to be vulnerable is because we're afraid if we're vulnerable, which means sharing the real us. There's 3 different levels of vulnerability that I found through a book that I read. What was it? Was it The Subtle Art Not Giving a Fuck? I forget. There was a book I read and it was talking about this and it made a lot of sense to me. There's emotional vulnerability, the ability to express your real thoughts and feelings and emotions. There's social vulnerability, the ability to go out into public. Maybe there's somebody that you see that you like and you can actually walk up to them and not give a shit about what other people think. And then there's physical vulnerability, the ability to be physically intimate with somebody or to flirt with somebody. And for me, I had a lot of shame from childhood where I believed I wasn't good enough. There's something wrong with me. So I'd be afraid to show those aspects of myself. I'd be afraid to show my intent with flirting with somebody. And because of that, it would depolarize my relationships. And what would end up happening is I end up friends with people, friends with these women I was dating, but then it's like they didn't really know if I even liked them or not because I wasn't either making a move or showing sexual intent. That kind of polarity. Or I'd be afraid of what other people would think about me in certain situations or afraid of expressing my true emotions. And that was all because of the shame that I felt that there was something wrong with me. And that's what the thing with shame is. Shame wants to hide in the dark. So the shame tries to put on a different face, a different persona. It's like, no, I am this cool person. And it tries to put on this act, but that is one of the most needy energies, one of the most non-magnetic energies. Because it's valuing what other people think and feel over the authenticity. So this is something that we become aware of through the process of how we're showing up. Now, what that meant and how that looked for me is I had to start realizing there's a deeper core to this, okay? The deeper core to this was realizing that the shame I felt that I was broken from childhood, I could realize that the pain and stuff I experienced wasn't my fault in the sense of it wasn't because I wasn't worthy. Maybe the parents divorced, maybe there was emotional unavailability, whatever it was. We all have these childhood things that happened. It's realizing that that was not your fault. It was not your fault your parents divorced, because as kids, we do think it's our fault. It's not our fault maybe a parent emotionally unattached or left, either emotionally or physically. We internalize these things and say I'm broken. And I realized I was attracting people into my life that would reflect back the belief that I'm broken. There's something wrong with me. And that was a needy energy because then I needed their approval. I needed their validation. And in order to get it, I would close off certain parts of myself that I was afraid to show. And why was I afraid to show it, by the way? Because I was afraid of being abandoned. Abandonment wound. I was afraid that somebody was going to reject me. I even remember back in like the first time I ever got like rejected when I was younger that I remember. Maybe even, okay, in childhood, maybe there was certain forms of rejection. But then when I was like 11 or 12 years old, went to this community park thing. It was like a summer camp. And I asked this girl to dance with me that was 18 years old and I was like 12 or 13 or something. And she was like, no, let me find, and she found someone my age. But I felt so rejected in that moment, and that was like a ballsy move of me. Like I was like putting it out there. Hey, I want to dance with you. You want to dance? And then she said no. And then I wired in this thing that like, oh, there's something wrong with me. It like and normally those situations will also be a reflected echo from like 5 to 15 years old, or no, like 4 to 7 years old. So the affirmation of this is that what we are doing is, if we were to say there's one affirmation to this too, because one of the most attractive things you could do is to actually have boundaries with people, because boundaries imply value. If I say it's not okay to do this, then that's implying that actually I value myself and I don't want to deal with that. But if there's one affirmation I would say that would help with, you can either apply towards your childhood stuff or even now, is you're most likely an empath that's watching this, or somebody that feels like you can feel other people's energy. So that's the affirmation is, and this isn't just something you say like 20 times. You say this 20 times and you'll be a magicianal millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, you like love magnet. No. But if you say this, it will help you to discern other people's energy cords from your energy cords. And that is, that's your shit, not mine. That's your shit, not mine. If you go out and you express the real you to somebody else, and they don't like it, that's on them. It doesn't mean you're not broke, there's something wrong with you. It means you just might not vibe with them. That's their stuff. If you set boundaries with a friend or somebody that wants you to do something you don't want to do, and you start setting boundaries and they get mad at you, it's not your fault. You don't have to internalize it. That's their shit, not yours. So this is a powerful mantra that I began to use, because then I began to say, oh, well, it's actually a win-win if I most vulnerably express the real me to somebody else and they don't like that. Then it's like, well, I just saved myself some time. I started to affirm myself by valuing authenticity and vulnerability over validation and approval. From childhood trauma, I used to value these more than these. What changed everything is I started to have this compass of my identity that was like, I will say things that are authentic, expressive. I will emotionally be vulnerable and express myself. I will physically be vulnerable in the right appropriate situations, of course. There's always an understanding of that container of each side. It doesn't mean you go around and you're emotionally vulnerable, so you're just like expressing and crying about everything all the time. And at the same time, it doesn't mean you go around touching everybody, but it means that these things that you're afraid, if you're afraid of abandonment or rejection, you start realizing what is the real me. And you start affirming the self. Because people that are watching this video probably normally affirm other people's thoughts, other people's values, other people's emotions, other people's validation, other people's approval over their own. And I promise you, when you switch this energy around, it changes everything. So the one affirmation you want to use that will make you more magnetic and attract more miracles than anything else is not something you say. It's affirming your own self, your own vulnerability, your own values, your own authenticity. And as you do that, you will show up in the world in a different way, and people will respond to you differently with more magnetic energy. Now, with that being said, I'm going to have this video go out on the last day of July, which means that tomorrow starts the 21-day Confidence Love Challenge. So if you want to be, in 21 days from now, a more confident you want to embody more, like less fear and judgment, and you want to let all that doubt go, and you want to literally embody in an identity shift in being the most vulnerable, authentic, and bold, expressive version of you, then now is the last day to join for the 21-day Confidence Love Challenge. All you got to do to join is you got to click the link below. I'll see you on the inside. I can't wait. It's 21 days of life coaching and processes that we go through together. What makes it different than a YouTube video is it's not some passive video that you watch. There's things you do in the Facebook group. There's things you do with the supportive community, and there's live coaching that'll help you change your life from the inside out. Now, the next video, and one of the most powerful videos that I have, is how to let go to finally receive. Letting go is one of the most magnetic things you can do. Watch this video to wire that in. The more you can let go is the more you can receive. And this is such a paradox because for a long time I would resist what I actually wanted. I would try, I would set intentions, I'd put things and realize I'd put them on a pedestal without even knowing it. And I'd